Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the UNSW virtual information session. Thanks for joining us today. We're very excited to have this webinar today with UNSW, one of the group of 8 universities in Australia. My name is Lively. I am an education planner at IAE Global Sydney. So let me introduce IAE Global Sydney just in case you don't know who we are. IAE is an education agency for international students. We assist international students with their study plans, school applications, enrollments, and student visa. We're based in Sydney, Australia, but as a global company, our services are provided through a wide range of ways, including online and social media platforms. And our services are provided in many different languages, including Korean, Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, Spanish, Portuguese, Thai, Lithuanian, Polish, Russian, and English. So please feel free to contact us if you have any questions for future education plans in Australia. Our friendly staff will be available for you for professional free counseling. Today, we're joined by UNSW, one of the top 50 universities around the world. Today's session is very special because among those of you who joined this webinar and apply for UNSW, you will get a chance to get $125 of the application fee waiver if you are a qualified applicant. This is the first time that UNSW is ever providing this application fee waiver. So if you would like to get this rare chance, please make sure to contact your IAE counselors as soon as possible. And make sure you submit full documentations along with the most recent academic transcripts so that the UNSW admissions team will do pre-assessment to see if you are eligible for the application fee waiver. Now, a little bit of housekeeping to start. If you have questions throughout the presentation, please leave your questions in the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen, and they'll be answered in the Q&A session after the presentation. There's also the chat box. You can pop in your questions there as well. Now, without further ado, let's get into the main session. I'm going to pass it over to our presenter today, who is Anthony Badgery.
So yes, my name's Anthony Badgery and I'm a Future Students Manager at UNSW. So my job is to speak with prospective students and tell you a little bit about our campus and our programs and answer any questions that you might have. So we're just going to have a little bit of an overview about UNSW today, and then if you've got some questions, then I can answer those towards the end. So who is UNSW? So UNSW was founded in 1949 and it was at a time post-World War when we really had a lot of skills needs in Australia that needed to be have people trained for. So these are in the areas of sciences and technology. So we really needed these skills to get the country up and running again post World War II. So we were drawing inspiration from the likes of MIT and Berlin University of Technology to be a really applied kind of and technical based university. So we're currently around about 60,000 students, and about a third of those are international students from over 135 different countries. So it's a really diverse student population, and you know, it'll great place to meet people from all around the world. So also to understand a little bit about UNSW, it helps to understand our 2025 strategy. So this is an ambitious strategy that really underpins all the decisions UNSW makes as a institution on where it wants to be in the future. So we want to be Australia's global university, so truly global university in everything we do. So in the impact we create, our education, the experiences, staff, the student cohort, and you know, I think we're making some good headway there. So we're currently 23rd most international university in the world, so definitely on our way there. We also want to make a positive impact. So this is through social engagement, global impact. So, you know, not just, you know, doing well in the research to increase our rankings, but really having an impact on people's lives. So solving some of the important problems that the world is facing. We consistently want to be ranked in the top 50 in the world. So currently we are ranked in the top 50 with QS rankings. So on average, we want to be within the top 50 across, on average, across the main rankings. So UNSW's motto is Scientia Manualmente, which means knowledge by hand and mind. And this encapsulates the ethos of UNSW, where together we learn and grow through hard work and independent thought. And this prepares our scholars to go on to solve some of the world's biggest problems. We're very proud of our academic performance. So, you know, some of our rankings in this area include, our top 50 ranking, 43rd in the world with QS. We're currently, and a lot of our disciplines are performing a lot better than our overall rankings. So we've got 21 of the world's top 50 subjects. So mining and mineral engineering ranks 6th in the world, civil and structural 12th, law 14th, and accounting and finance 15th. And we're 38th in the world for academic reputation with QS. And we were the first university, one of the first universities in the world to gain the full ranking, 5-star ranking across all areas with QS ranking system. And, you know, also we, keeping with very good company, I guess we've been, have a lot of alliances, academic alliances with some of the top universities around the world. So we were one of the founding members of the prestigious group of 8 universities in Australia. So these are the top 8 universities in Australia. Also a founding member of the Plus Alliance. So this was between King's College and Arizona State University. So working very strongly and closely together on a number of research and different projects. We're also a member of the APRU and Universitas 21. And we're also the only Australian university to be invited to join the Global Alliance of Technological Universities. So, and it's, our reputation for performance has helped students get noticed by graduate employers. So, and this really translates to our performance in employability. So we're ranked number 1 in Australia's group of 8 for full-time employment of undergraduate and postgraduate students. We're ranked number 1 in Australia, most employable university. So that's the 2020 AFR Top 100 Awards. And I think this ranking is probably one of the ones that we're most proud of, and 27th in the world for graduate employability. So it just means that our graduates are highly sought after by those employers. So one thing that really helps with the rankings is certainly research. So UNSW is not only a teaching intensive university, but also equally a research intensive university. So, basically we are doing very well in the Australian research rankings. So recognised as a leader in the excellence of research, and we're known internationally for our pioneering research in the area of photovoltaics and solar energy and quantum computing. So we're years ahead on being one of the first to I guess, safely develop the quantum computer. So hopefully we get over the finishing line first. Interactive cinema and HIV/AIDS. We achieved the highest citations per paper of all Australian universities across 26 areas. And, you know, to achieve this global impact that we're really looking for, we recognise that we need to get our breakthroughs out into the world. So we've got an easy access IP program, which offers most of our intellectual property to companies for free to really, you know, mainstream some of these research breakthroughs that we've achieved. We achieved $150 million in research income from all sources in 2018. So we were awarded the highest number of Australian Research Council discovery projects in Australia for 3 years in a row. from 2017 to 2019. And, you know, as a coursework, as a master's potential candidate, you're probably wondering how this impacts on you, the research, but, you know, it also means that the people who are performing this groundbreaking research are also the people that are teaching the coursework program. So, you know, you're going to get the most up-to-date, you know, content and information about these discipline areas from the people who are teaching it. So you can, if you do want to go on to do research, you can do things in like next generation materials, water, climate, sustainability, law, business, large range of options that you can choose from. UNSW is very much focused on a culture of innovation. So we don't just say that, we've really put our money where our mouth is. So we invested in an innovation center, the Michael Crouch Innovation Center, spent $45 million on the development of this building. So it's essentially home to state-of-the-art facilities such as an innovation hall, workspaces, 3D printers and laser cutters, and so really giving those people with a great idea all the tools that they need to, you know, launch their ideas. So including access to UNSW Founders Program. So we have the biggest student startup program in Australia. And, you know, whether it's a first idea and trying to launch their first idea, or whether they've had a few goes, you know, there's a lot of support at each level. You know, some of our innovations that have changed the world. So we're currently working on the development of the bionic eye, so helping blind people to see. So we're hoping that this will be a reality in the not so distant future. And also our work in solar, as I mentioned, you know, we end up smashing the Guinness World Records, you know, most years winning the world's fastest solar vehicles. So, and this is actually a project worked on by engineering students each year. So an opportunity to work on a pretty good program. So I believe, Kerry, you had just had a question.
Received any question at the moment.
Oh, okay. I thought you had raised your hand.
Oh yeah, I know. It was a mistake. Sorry for that.
Okay, no worries. Okay, we'll keep on moving then. No worries. Great. So I'm not sure how many of you are actually currently in Australia versus overseas. I believe a lot of students who might have been onshore students and went home to complete their studies since they were being taught online. But for those of you who haven't been to Sydney, this is a great aerial view shot of the eastern suburbs of Sydney. So you can see the dotted line around that bit of land there. That's the campus of UNSW. So it's a fully contained, you know, it's almost a city in itself. It's got everything you really need there. So things like accommodation options and lots of food options and, you know, sporting facilities and so on. So this is our main campus, Kensington campus, and we're about 20 minutes from the city centre by car. So there's lots of buses going into the city centre, and there's also a recently completed tram, so light rail that goes into Central Station as well. So you can see in the north there, that's the sparkling Sydney Harbour, and it's very much a green kind of belt of Sydney. So it's quite a pleasant place to study, but also, you know, 15 minutes to the airport, 10 minutes to the beach. So, you know, very well located. And we also do have a second campus in Sydney, the Art and Design School in Paddington, and that's only about 5 to 10 minutes away. And there is a shuttle bus that goes between the two if you're, you know, have classes between both, or you're living on campus or whatever. We have also another campus in Canberra, and that's about 3 hours south of Sydney. So, but this is mainly for postgraduate programs. They're mainly offered or only offered online, and it's really only the PhDs that can be studied on campus. So there's a good range of fully funded PhDs through the Canberra campus. A little bit about Sydney. So I'm very biased because I live in Sydney, but I think it's one of the best cities in the world to live. You know, it's very, you know, moderate climate, so very pleasant climate, very outdoors, beautiful city to live. So lots of beaches and parks, and yeah, I I love it. But you know, also important things. It's Australia's financial capital, so a lot of major businesses have their head offices for Australia in Sydney. So there's a lot of I guess, employment opportunities for graduates who are looking to go on from their studies in Sydney. We were voted #1 best city for quality of living in Australia in 2019. And one thing that most students don't expect is that Sydney is a very diverse population. So over 31% of Sydney's population was born overseas, and over 250 languages are spoken in Sydney. So, and one thing also that helps is the food. We have some great food options, very diverse cuisines, and very fresh, tasty foods. So hopefully if you come to study with UNSW, you can get out and explore those great food options. So what can you study at UNSW? So this is, sorry, it's not a pretty table. I've done this one myself, but yeah, so we have about 8 faculties in total, plus the Canberra campus. So Canberra is mainly a defence campus, so focus more on defence programs. But other than that, we have art and design, arts and social sciences, and built environment. So art and design offers things like graphic design, fine arts, media, and so on. Arts and social sciences offers things like languages, education, teaching, international studies, you know, media, international relations, public policy, and so on. So really humanities-based options. And then built environment offers things like architecture and construction, management, planning, these kind of things. But we are actually about to merge these 3 faculties into one big faculty, so one large and strong faculty. You know, they're all doing independently well in their disciplines at the moment, so definitely very strong faculties, but we are condensing them, so we've got more resources to support the students and still go on to do that groundbreaking research. So that will be happening over the next few months, but it shouldn't really be affecting students' programs or entry requirements for the time being. We also have law, so we have a top-ranked law program. So this offers things like undergraduate law, so generally 5+ years to study interdisciplinary program in law. So if you were wanting to do commercial law, you'd study commerce law. If you wanted to do things like human rights law, then you'd study arts law and so on. We also have medicine. So at the we have undergraduate medicine. So this is taught as the Bachelor of Medical Studies with the MD program. So it's a combined undergrad plus postgrad program, 6 years in total. Very competitive for entry, as you would imagine. And unfortunately, we don't offer just entry straight to the MD program. You do have to start with the Bachelor of Medical Studies to go all the way through. At the postgraduate level, we're offering programs mainly in international public health and health management. There's dual masters that are available, 2-year options, and there is a very good range of online programs within our medicine program. So professional development for health professionals. And we also do have infectious disease intelligence science, infectious disease intelligence, which is very poignant at the moment. So we have science. So this offers programs like, your normal ones like chemistry, geography, pharmacology, but we also offer psychology, which we perform very well in, optometry, aviation. So at the undergraduate level, students can do pilot training through our Bachelor of Aviation Flying, these are just a few examples of some of the programs that we have. And then our 2 biggest faculties that we have. So we have business and engineering are our largest faculties. So because of the technical, roots of UNSW, the science and technology focus, that's really led UNSW to go on to be very strong in the areas of engineering. Currently ranked #1 engineering school in Australia. So it's, we've got a very large number of majors available in engineering. So at the undergraduate level, we have the Bachelor of engineering honours, so you do require an honours program to become an engineer in Australia, with a large range of majors you can choose from. So the traditional ones, as with postgraduate, we've got things like civil engineering, mechanical engineering, and so on. But then also we've got these new and emerging areas of engineering, so things like renewable energy engineering, and a new program which I believe we are the first, sorry, we are the first in the world to launch quantum engineering. So that's quite an exciting new program that we're offering. At the postgrad level, yeah, we have two main programs in engineering, and these are in engineering science and the Master of Engineering. So Master of Engineering is an accredited program with Engineers Australia. It's designed for students who've done an undergraduate degree, which isn't recognised by Engineers Australia for accreditation. So it's just giving a pathway for those people to gain accreditation with Engineers Australia, and hence be recognised to practice engineering in any one of the Washington Accord countries. So there's only a smaller number of majors available in the Master of Engineering. And then the Master of Engineering Science is not accredited by Engineers Australia. So it's more of a professional development program for students who already have an accredited bachelor's degree or recognised degree by Engineers Australia. A large number of majors to choose from in that area. But if students do find a major that they really want to study in there that's not available in the Master of Engineering, they can independently go through the accreditation process with Engineers Australia. It's just not as streamlined. So, you know, a lot of highly ranked disciplines in this area, and our faculty is very highly engaged with industry. So you know that this is going to go into the design of the engineering programs. So our graduates are very much prepared for the workforce and in demand. So going back to the business school, currently ranked first in Australia, and then 15th in the world for accounting and finance. And we're ranked within the top 50 globally for business and management. So most students are concerned that their degree will be recognised when they return home, or if they go to work elsewhere around the globe. So our business degrees are double accredited by AACSB and EQUIS, so some of the leading accreditation bodies for business programs. So it just means that your degree is going to be recognised worldwide. We also have one of the top 50 MBA programs, so very strong program as well there. And the business faculty has some a really great career accelerator program. So it's really trying to help our students to be job ready once they graduate. So students can participate in things like internships, work integrated learning programs, there's mentoringships and all these other things. And so really to help students get ahead. And actually our Bachelor of Commerce which offers again a large number of majors that students can choose from. That's just recently been refreshed, so to be more job ready. So every student that does the Bachelor of Commerce will actually get a career portfolio which they can show to potential employers on graduation. So trying to give our students very much that step up. So yeah, as I mentioned, there is a large range of majors students can choose from in the business faculty in the Bachelor of Commerce. And the first year is flexible. So if you do change your mind, it's easy to change majors within the first year. And then at the master's level, we have the Masters of Commerce is our main, one of our main offerings. And that's can be completed at 1.7 years, so a year and two trimesters, but it can be completed in 1 year if you do have a business undergraduate degree. We also have the the Master of Commerce Extension program. So that's a 2-year program where you can do up to 2 majors. So we also have Masters in Professional Accounting and a range of other programs. They're just a few, and Master of Applied Finance as well. Our academic calendar. So just worth noting that UNSW recently went from a semester-based system to a trimester calendar. So we have 3 10-week teaching terms, first one beginning in February, then one in June, one in September, and we still have a summer school going from January. So they're more condensed. So that means that rather than having 4 subjects, a full-time study load is still the same over the year. So it's still 8 subjects is considered a full-time study load. But a maximum study load per term is 3 subjects. So you'll have two terms where you would need to do 3 subjects, and there'll be 1 term where you can just do 2, or you can do the 3. So you can maybe overload a bit, do summer schools, and there may be the opportunity to fast track a little bit depending how your timetable works out. So you still have a 9-week holiday at the end of the year over the Australian summer break, a little bit shorter than before, and we still have 4 weeks of holidays in the middle of the year, but it's just 2 weeks either side of term 2. So some benefits of the program: it's better aligned with other countries' academic calendars, particularly, Europe and these kind of things. So, which leads to it being easier to participate in international exchange opportunities and so on outside of COVID times. And, there's flexibility to spread your study load. So as I mentioned, you can overload, or, you can opt to take 2 subjects in 1 term and so on, and also allows more flexibility for work integrated learning. So UNSW has all the student support that you would expect from a Australian university. Australian international education is governed by the ESOS Act, and national codes. So basically making sure that we recognise that international students are very important and add a lot to the vibrancies of Australian universities. So we have, this basically means we need to make sure our international students are well looked after. So we do it, in the terms of having, all the facilities. We hope we do them better than some, but, so we have everything you'd expect, like housing assistance, airport pickups, the International Student Experience Unit, which can help with any inquiries you might have. So if you need some academic support, legal support, career support, health and well-being needs, these are all just drop into the drop-in centre, and they can give you some guidance on that. Some things that our careers and employment department have on offer, listed on this page here. And I would recommend that the meeting with our careers and employment department is one of the first meetings as opposed to one of the last. So, the reason for this is that, you're thinking, I might only need to see them when I need to get a job, but in actual fact, you need to, a degree certificate is only one checkbox on a job description. You need to think about meeting all those other, job description requirements, the soft skills, team leadership, problem solving skills. You need to work on being able to show that you meet these. So what the Careers and Employment Department can do is help you write a career plan to try and develop those skills that you need to get the jobs that you want. So we have, they offer the professional development program. So this includes things like an internship opportunity within UNSW and some workshops to help develop those skills. You can have appointments with Careers and Employment. We offer a range of careers development seminars and academic workshops. And we have a range of events to connect with graduate employers. So we have the International Careers Expo, and that was run virtually this year, as most things have been, and apparently went very well. But really trying to connect our graduates with those graduate employers. We have work integrated learning opportunities, online resources such as our 24/7 resume checker, the Smart Thinking English language support. So if you need some support with your academic English, there's a tool there for students. And also we have the UNSW International Student Employability Guide. So giving tips for our students on how to, get the best career outcomes on graduation. One tool that I highly recommend students to utilize when you are studying at UNSW is our writing support, UNSW Smart Thinking portal. So this is it's a free resource and basically offers students the opportunity to submit any kind of piece of writing that they need to work on to online tutors, and then they can review and give some feedback on that piece of writing. So whether it be things like literature reviews, reports, essays, or cover letters, you can submit that any time a day and get feedback within 24 hours. Or if you do need some assistance on how to go about working on a document, you can schedule a one-to-one to figure out how to go about working on a particular document. So a really great resource for our students. Online learning. Most universities are doing some kind of online at the moment, and most of UNSW classes are currently are taught online. So we're expecting most students who are offshore will be starting online and hopefully finishing online, depending on when borders open to international students. So we're hoping there'll be some movement soon. If you are in Australia onshore and there are some classes already being taught on campus, but more prioritized for labs and things like, where you really need to get that face-to-face experience and, some tutorials. And we expect that most of the lectures will continue to be online for the short to medium term, because there's no need to really be in the same room for that. They can be participated online, but we'll be increasing as we go along, assuming all goes well with our COVID situation, with more and more tutorials being available and opened up each term. So online, if you are starting online, there's a very good experience for students. You're still getting the same world leading and world standard teaching experience from our academics. They're still the same people and still putting a lot into the experience of their classes. So if anything, there's a little bit more involvement with online learning, because they need to make sure that the students are, understanding the work, and that one-to-one time spent making sure students understand and are fine with the content. You've still got online access to all the support services you need. Still got access to all those connections that you need, and you can manage your time according to how it suits you. So there's flexibility there as well. So you can read a little bit more about our online study at online.unsw.uns.edu.au. Campus facilities. So as I mentioned earlier, it very much is pretty much a city in itself. You've got like banks and retail services, careers and development. There's the library. I think there's about 3 food courts. There's university-wide internet access. State-of-the-art gym. It's even got its own supermarket. And one thing I love about the campus is that they've converted a lot of the outdoor spaces into study spaces. So, they've got park benches with outside with laptop desks attached and PowerPoints. So you don't actually have to bury yourself in the library. So you can actually plug in your laptop under a tree, assuming it's a nice day, and then you can do your independent study there. So it's really, and lots of lovely trees around the campus. So it's more pleasant to do that than in the library. In normal times, when borders are open and we can all travel freely, then we do have a good range of exchange opportunities. So we have over 300 exchange partners worldwide. So if you do want to have a second international experience, we've got exchange partners in Europe, in the Americas, through Asia, pretty much all over the world. Accommodation options if you do wish to live on campus, and we have both college style accommodation, so where you can have your own room, but fully catered and so on. And then there's also apartments where you can do your own cooking, and these are a little bit cheaper because you are organizing your own food and so on. So depending on what facilities you have will dictate the per week price. How to apply? So pretty much online, it's all online applications, and lodging your application through your agent's the best option. So just get all your documentation together, all your transcripts and a copy of your passport, and submit that to your agent. As Lively mentioned earlier, if you do have complete documentation and you are qualified for entry, then you can have your application fees waived. So take that up with your agent if you wish to move forward with gaining that application fee waiver or seeing if you're eligible. Research, I won't touch on this too much. I think most students are probably more looking for bachelor's or master's, but if there is potential research candidates, you essentially need to write your proposal, make contact with the supervisor at UNSW, and only once you've confirmed a supervisor can you actually move forward with an application. So, so there's an online self-assessment tool called a HDR self-assessment tool. So you can basically, if you want to see how the strength of you as a research candidate, you put in all your information there, and it will come back and tell you whether either you're competitive for full scholarship, for a tuition fee scholarship, or only for the program, or not suitable at all. So this is a good probably starting point to see whether it's worthwhile moving forward, trying to get that supervisor first. Scholarships, probably one of the first things we get asked about. So sorry, I saved it towards the end, but we do have a range of scholarships for international students. There's some very bespoke ones. So I recommend taking a look through the portal, which is scholarships.unsw.edu.au. But our main program, scholarship program, is an international scholarship, which is between $5,000 to $10,000 off first-year fees only. So this is awarded on a competitive basis. You don't need to apply for this scholarship, as you just need to have a full offer to the university before the scholarship deadline for that intake. And then you'll be considered for that scheme. There is also a full scholarship and a very small number of partial. So these are extremely competitive because of the small number of them and being open to all international students. So you pretty much need to expect to have near perfect grades and very strong statement of purpose and a few other things. So there is a separate application process through the scholarships portal. So you can read about that if you are interested in applying. But yeah, we are looking for those very top candidates. If you don't meet direct entry to UNSW, the requirements, we do have things like English classes, so you can package with English classes, or if you don't meet a direct entry to the bachelor's, your high school isn't recognised, or you didn't quite get the grades, we have foundation programs or diplomas. So diplomas equivalent to first year of the bachelor's program, just smaller class sizes, more concentrated, and on successful completion of that program, and sometimes maybe a particular GPA, you can progress to second year of that of the bachelor at UNSW. Then there's just some quick links there. So yeah, I think most of these are available on our website, and that's about it from me. I guess we'll just open up to a quick Q&A now. Just bear with me. Yeah, do we have any questions, or does anyone from IAE want to add anything quickly before we open to the Q&A? Did you have anything to add, Lively, or should we open up to Q&As? So just from my side, if you do want to just put something in the chat, you don't need to step up and put on your mic. I'm happy to answer any questions. So please do put any questions that you might have about programs or about the structure of the university or deadlines, anything like that. Please put them in the chat. Did you have anything to add, Lively?
After the Q&A session, yeah.
Okay, sure, no worries. So I did actually neglect to actually cover about IT. So just in case we do have any interested people in IT, that is taught in our engineering faculties. So very top engineering faculty, which also teaches IT. And so, yeah, we have the Bachelor of Engineering with computer science or software engineering. And then at the master's level, we have the Master of Information Technology. So offering things like artificial intelligence, and we have cybersecurity programs and so on. So I believe there is one question that just popped up in the panel. So I see, hi Anthony, regarding the processing timeframe, do you have any update? As recently, we know the application processing time is slower than before. Okay, yes, I can confirm that unfortunately we are running a little bit slower than normal at the moment. Due to the COVID situation, I think you've probably seen in the media that universities are being affected by enrollments numbers are lower at the moment. So, so yeah, they've just put some freezes on recruitment at this point in time. So admissions team are a little you know, under the pump at the moment. So appreciate if you can bear with us. So normally we are expecting about a 10 working day lead time, you know, to turn around complete applications that don't need to go to faculty or have any additional requirements. So, however, we have been told that that is going up by blowing out a little bit by about 5 days. So I think on average, there is, you know, we're tracking about, you know, 3 weeks, unfortunately, and they're desperately trying to improve on that. I believe that they are improving on that. They said they have improved. So yeah, so it should be anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks turnaround on applications, but we are very much trying to improve on that, but please bear with us. If you do have a very urgent case where you need to secure funding from somewhere, so you need an offer letter, or yeah, you need to apply for a visa because it's taking a long time if you're offshore, then please escalate that to your agent, who can then raise that with UNSW, with me, and I can follow it up with our admissions team. So I do ask, if it's just a matter of you're just a little bit nervous that nothing's happening, then if you can just bear with us, but it is taking a little longer than normal, but they are doing their best to improve on it. And if you do have a genuine need, an urgent need, then please raise that with your agent and we can try and follow up for you. Okay, so I hope that answers that question. And so, yeah, one of the best ways to make quicker kind of turnarounds is make sure you do have all that complete documentation. So you do make sure you've got all those transcripts, they're clear, and so on. And so that's definitely one way to providing grading scales also helps. That's one of the most common things that are left off applications. So, you know, if you want to speed up the process once they do get onto your application, just make sure you've got that complete documentation. Okay, so one more question. During the online study period due to COVID-19, will you record failed subjects on the transcript? So if you're studying at UNSW and you fail a subject, it will be recorded on your, I think in the earlier periods, there might have been some maybe flexibility, but I think now we have progressed a little bit more. Fail grades, I believe, will be included. So I think as we were adapting to the new ways of teaching and learning, then I think there, in the earlier time, there was a bit of flexibility in that first term. But I think if you we've set up all the support for students, so and there is flexibility around the number of subjects that are taken in a term. So I think in the earlier stages it was understandable, but now I would suggest any students that are nervous about you know, failing subjects, I would say seek out the support that's available to you. There is online academic support. There's all those services that are still available for you. So yeah, if you feel that you're starting to not keep above your head above water, then seek that support, because it is available. And what was I going to say? Okay, so for some programs which placement is involved, how to deal with it for offshore? Okay, that's a good question. And we are endeavoring to try and I think each faculty is dealing with this challenge in different ways. So I believe some faculties are negotiating whether it's possible to do your work placement in the country that you're currently residing if you can't make it to Australia. So there is some, you know, particularly professional programs, there is some guidelines around what can be and can't be done. So I believe in some faculties, they're agreeing on having a Australian a supervisor based in China who can oversee that work placement, which will satisfy the requirements of the work placement. So depending on the program that students are looking at studying, if there is a work placement component, then I would recommend just individually speaking with your agent and just asking them to clarify with UNSW and the faculty program authority how we're going to deal with that. So we are working on more and more solutions as the longer borders are closing, because the original hope was that students would start online and finish online, but for those shorter programs, then yeah, we are looking at some particular alternative ways that students can satisfy that work placement. So yeah, great.
Okay, so I think we've covered everything for today's session. If you have any further questions and queries, you can always contact us, IAE, so that we can help you with communicating with UNSW admission team.
Just checking, did we record everyone's attendance? Yes, we did get that in the other room, was it? Yeah. Lively. Yep. Okay, we're good.
Okay. Thank you very much for sharing the information about UNSW, Anthony. I'd like to remind you all that we will be sharing the recording for today's session with you. So in case you have missed anything, you can visit IA Global Facebook webpage and YouTube channel as well. So thank you all for taking your time out of your busy schedule, and I hope you all keep safe and well. Bye for now.